What Kendrick Lamar just did with 616 in LA was pure genius. He may not feel like he's our savior, but when it comes to hip hop, he is. Now listen, if you're an OVO Dick Rider or a Drake super stan, like, you might want to exit this video. It's probably not for you. You know, I'm not here to diminish Drake. You know, he's an amazing artist in his own right, but what Kendrick is doing right now is on another level. And I just feel like we have to sit here and we have to appreciate the moment that's happening. Now, why am I saying he's hip hop savior, right? I know that sounds dramatic, but the reason why I'm saying that is because every time hip hop for the last 10, 15 years has become kind of stale and stagnant, Kendrick has done something that's kind of shook the game up and got the spirit back up and brought back lyricism to the forefront, right? Whether it's Control, the Control verse that shook the game up and made everybody pissed off and angry and made everybody want to rap and get lyrical again. Whether it's Good Kid, Mad City, classic album, bringing back the importance of classic albums and concept albums, which we hadn't really seen on a mainstream level since Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor and the Cool. Now this episode, I'm not going to debate Kendrick versus Drake. I just want to analyze Kendrick's skill in art on its own, and just kind of isolate his side on its own, because I feel like the run he's on right now is ridiculous from a lyrical standpoint. You know, Euphoria was layered with Easter eggs, you know, foreshadowing and witty wordplay, and it all kind of like was hinting towards this record dropping, which I think at first, myself included, may not have been closely paying attention to, but I did find it kind of weird, but I wasn't sure if it actually meant something or not, but clearly it did. For example, in the artwork for Euphoria, it says they had almost a week to recover from the euphoria of Tuesday's series-winning victory. He said that on Tuesday when the artwork said that on Tuesday when it dropped. Within the same week, right? It said they had almost a week to recover from the euphoria of Tuesday's series-winning victory, right? So within the same week, Tuesday Euphoria drops, and now Friday we get 616 in LA, right? So he was basically hinting that I'm gonna double up, I'm gonna back-to-back this shit, and he did, right? Now let's get into the title of 616 in LA. You know, Drake's known for, you know, one of the staples in his discography are the timestamp records. Those are some of his best lyrical displays. They're basically kind of just like long verses over beats. He's either venting or just getting off like a lyrical display. And usually they have like and the timestamp records will have like a location and a specific time when I guess he wrote this or whatever, when he felt to release these records, right? For example, he has 5 a.m. in Toronto and 6 p.m. in New York. Those are classic Drake records that really show Drake's lyrical ability. So Kendrick is kind of taking Drake's theme here and making it his own, you know, but the 616, he's doing that on purpose. It's not just I don't think it's just a coincidence, right? It's definitely not. For example, June 16th is Father's Day in Canada, right? So he's poking fun at the idea of Drake being an absent father and that whole thing there. June 16th is also, so 616, June 16th is Tupac's birthday, right? June 16 was the start of O.J. Simpson's trial for the murder of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. And that's why you see, well, I think that's why you see the gloves for the artwork of 616 in LA. It's kind of referencing the O.J. Simpson, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit, famous gloves from the O.J. trial. And I guess it's Kendrick kind of playing on the idea of, you know, I'm murdering, you know, he calls them white. So maybe he's looking at it like I'm murdering this white girl or I'm murdering this white guy, whatever. Just he's getting away with murder in general, right? And then there's also the play on 616 Corinthians. You know, Kendrick has a song Kush and Corinthians and has kind of mentioned that a few times throughout his career. So there's definitely I'm sure there's more to it than that, but we're still trying to do our research and figure it out. I do wonder if that picture of those gloves, I think that's the Maybach music symbol as well on those gloves. I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that there's a claim that Rick Ross wrote on Back to Back. There's that. Plus there's also maybe those gloves, that picture was taken in Drake's house. You know what I mean? There's something about that picture. It's not just the gloves and the OJ reference. I think there's something more to that, but I'm not sure what it is yet. Hopefully someone figures that shit out. Now, in my opinion, this is the best record out of all the disses so far. You know, not because of some hard-hitting bomb or child getting exposed, but because Kendrick is really showing his lyrical prowess and his attention to detail, right? You know, he says, I know this type of power gonna cost, but I live in circadian rhythms of a shooting star. The mannerisms of Raphael, I can heal and give you art. Now, this is him saying that he knows that the success and the power and the fame that he's gained, there's gonna be some type of punishment that comes with that. You know, some type of negativity that comes with that. When he says he lives in circadian rhythms, in the rhythm of a shooting star. So I'm thinking that he's looking at it like, I know there's going to be pressures. I know there's going to be negativity, but I move in a way where I can handle it. My mind's at ease. You know what I mean? And the mannerisms of Raphael, I can heal and give you art. So Mr. Morale was basically like a therapy album for him. So I'm healing and I'm giving you art at the same time. And the honesty and vulnerability, you know, that allowed Kendrick to make Mr. Morale, that's also the same power that kind of makes him bulletproof. You know, like he said in that BET cypher back in the day. He said, haha, joke's on you, I'm bulletproof. You know, and he was speaking to Drake back then too. That was years and years and years ago, right? When he said he's gonna tuck a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. You know, he shows his flaws, he embraces them, you know. So what ammo, you know, what angle can you use against someone who picks themselves apart? You know what I mean? He says in this record that, you know, Drake is trying to pay people to find dirt on him, but he's wasting his money, you know. This puts Drake at a massive disadvantage, you know, because Kendrick is open with his life and his story, and he's vulnerable. So he's already telling you his flaws. He's already telling you his weaknesses. So it's not much you could use against him. You know, he says, no, you can't sleep. These images trouble you. No, the wires in your circle should puzzle you. If you were street smart, then you would have caught that your entourage is only to hustle you. Now, he's saying that there's, you know, snakes in his circle. You know, this seems more to me like a piece of advice, really more than it is a diss. You know what I mean? Like, he's telling Drake, like, yo, you got rats in your circle. You know what I mean? You got a Judas that's around you, not even just one. There's multiple. Maybe Drake's team is full of leeches who are just using him for power and money and opportunity rather than actually being his family. You know, he's breaking down his psyche and letting Drake know that these internet memes and paying for bots and this AI shit and looking for tea, it's not gonna work, because Drake is dealing with someone who's not only is an incredible artist, but he's also 100% authentic. You know what I mean? Certified and real. He's a real person at the end of the day, a human. You know, there's no holes he can poke. He's already spoken about the trouble in his marriage and his, you know, difficulties and his flaws already as a human being. So what more else can you say, really? Now, the amount of like Easter eggs and callbacks and sometimes triple and double entendres on display are not just giving Kendrick the lead in this battle, in my opinion. They're further proving his genius as a writer, you know, further cementing his legacy as one of hip-hop's greats. Man, 616 in LA is a masterclass, in my opinion. The first half of the verse alone is a work of art. You know, the mentality of a man who just wants to raise his family, travel the world and seek inner peace, but knows war can happen at any moment, and he's willing and capable to battle. You know, the second half is a complete dismantling of Drake's antics and insecurity, and OVO not really being as solid of a team as it seems. Listen, man, I'm still waiting for Drake's response. Like, I'm not gonna act like Drake's finished here, but just isolating this piece alone, this is a work of art. You know, the production is beautiful and fluid. This is Kendrick at his best. The jokes and funny voices, all that shit is dope. You know, the bangers and all that stuff is dope, but like, when Kendrick gets serious and psychological and poetic, that's when he really goes Super Saiyan, especially over like a jazzy soul sample. Like, he's untouchable at that point. How is Drake gonna respond, man? That's the question right now everybody's asking. You know, if Kendrick drops another one of these, I'm not sure it's even gonna matter, to be honest with you. You know, from the Like That verse to the Euphoria banger to the deeply nuanced 616 in LA, Kendrick is back and he's putting on a masterclass in penmanship.